Welcome back. My name is Michelle and I do 5-star book reviews. But today I am starting a brand new series and it's on homeschooling because for those of you who don't know me, I have been a homeschooling mom for the last 21 years and I'm going into my last year because my son will be graduating next year. I'm like, wow, I'm going to have done 22 years of homeschooling. That is just crazy to me. I have 6 children. I'll post their pictures. I don't know how I'll post them, maybe together, maybe separately. I don't know. I'll think about it. I have homeschooled each and every one of them in different ways. And I think that that is the misconception about homeschooling is that everybody thinks it has to be this one way or there is only one way because of how school is. Because school is done one way, so everybody thinks homeschooling is done one way. And that couldn't be further from the truth. We homeschooling moms have learned how to adapt. And that's what you're doing right now. If you're watching this at this time when we're in the pandemic and everybody just got their kids thrown home to them, and all of a sudden, I'm like, now everybody gets what I've been doing. Because trust me, people think I am strange. If you're not a homeschooling mom, you're like, why would you do this? Why? Why don't you just send your kids to school? This is the first video of my homeschooling series, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons of why I do this. Because I just like 5. I don't know. It's a nice round number, and I always do that with my book reviews. So I thought, okay, come up with 5 reasons as to why you chose to do homeschooling. Just a disclaimer, I didn't homeschool all 6 of them the same way. Some of them went to school for different, as a matter of fact, each and every one of them went to public school, went to private school, not each and every one of them. Some of them went to public school. Some of them went to private school. Some of them stayed home more than the others. And I'm going to get into that while I'm doing this series, which is going to take me a while. But, I got time. Don't we all have time? And I was like, you guys are going to have to think about this. Your kids, I don't know what's going to look like in the fall. You may have to do this semester, you kind of just got thrown your kids at home and like, here, homeschool them and here, figure out Zoom and see how we can video their teacher. Come the fall, you get to decide. Do I want to send them back? Does it make more sense? Did I like it? Did I like having them at home? You get to make that decision. And I think a lot of people, from what I've been reading on all over social media, they like it more than they thought. At first, they were freaking out and they're like, oh my God, what am I going to do with these kids all day? But as time has gone on, and we are in week 7, people. You're seeing that you can make it work. It's a lifestyle. I'm going to tell you why I chose it. It wasn't an easy choice. I lost lots of sleep. And what I want to do for you is give you my experience. Okay, I have a lot of experience and I don't want you to stay awake as many nights that I did. If you chose to stay home this fall, if you're like, you know what, this works for my family, we love it, then I'm going to tell you how to do it every step of the way and you won't lose sleep like I did. And now that I'm in my last year, I'm like, why did I lose so much? Because I know what I was doing, because I was winging it. You can do that, but like I said, you're going to lose a lot of sleep and you're not going to know what you're doing. And you're going to be like, I can't do this. And another thing I should tell you is that I only have a high school education. A lot of family would come to me and say, how do you homeschool? You haven't been to college. You don't have a teaching degree. Right. But I do have a high school diploma and I'm only taking them as far as high school. So I was like, I can do this. And no, I didn't go to school to teach. We're all teachers. That's what I believe. Do we teach the same way? Do I teach the same way as people who have 2 master's degrees and are teaching children in high school? No. But I figured out a way that if they passed me, how to do it. When they started to get to know more than I know, I figured out ways, and that's what I want to share with you. I want to tell you it's not that scary, and I wish I would have had this series when I was starting off. So I'm going to give you what I wish I would have had. I figured out really early on that I loved having my children around. Now, I had 6, not right away, different ages. Some were closer, some weren't, but for my last child, my oldest was 6 going on 16. He was 15 going on 16. I had a newborn and I was teaching him how to drive, and then every age in between. But the thing I figured out really early, because I started homeschooling before I had my 6th, is that I liked having them around. I liked my children. And I'm not saying if you send them to school that you don't. I'm just saying I figured out that I liked being around them. That's my number 1 reason. I liked being around my children. Number 2, Because as much as a rule follower I am also really rebellious. Yes, it's true. I am. They would come home from school their first day, and I would get like that stack of papers, and it's like sign, 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 sign this, sign that, sign this. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And then the teachers would be like, you have to help them with this project. And I'm like, what? Most of the time in the beginning, I was working. I don't know. I do not follow rules well that I don't think make sense. I can be a rule follower as long as I think it makes sense. As soon as I don't think it makes sense, I'm the worst. I've had to deal with a lot of their teachers over the years, and if I found any kind of friction between us, I was out. I was like, you know what? I went to school. I don't have to deal with this. I'm being totally honest because you need to be totally honest with yourself. How do you enjoy following the rules of school? How much do you enjoy that? You need to answer that question for yourself. Me, not so good. Number 3, because I am a learner. I'm not a teacher, even though I am their teacher. I call myself a learner. I learned with them. I read every book with them. Yes, even when I was schooling like 5 of them at one time, I was reading everything with them. I was learning with them. Our life became about what they were learning. I love that because I was like, I didn't realize, like, because I didn't go to college, that I was teaching them things that I didn't learn in school. And so I became the learner with them. That was huge, huge. It kept me interested every single day. If that is not you, then it's going to be hard. I found that out about myself early on, that I was enjoying probably more than them. As a matter of fact, they would tell you that I enjoyed most of it more than they did. I would be reading a book with them and they're like, it's not that good. I'm like, oh my God, but did you read this page? Like, did you see what they were doing? Like, I drove them insane with how much I loved it. They would tell you that is the truth. Number 4. Wow, we're already at number 4. Because your daily schedule is so flexible. I had to get up at a certain time when I was working. I mean, my life was a hamster wheel. It was like 7, 8, do this, do that, get them off, go to work, come back, make dinner, go give them a bath, go to bed. Everything was just so structured. But as I began homeschooling and was able to stay home with them, I didn't have to set an alarm. A lot of times they woke me up, but I didn't have to set an alarm. And if breakfast was at 8, awesome. We got an early start. If it was at 9, sometimes 10. If breakfast didn't happen, it was amazing. And more importantly, doctor appointments. Dentists, they all had braces. So dentist, doctor, like as the little ones, I would take the older ones with me to help me with the younger ones. Like our life was so flexible. I loved watching the older ones taking care of the younger ones, and even in the school setting when we were doing school. See, I could get really emotional about this because I miss it so much because it's not my life now. I'm schooling one high schooler who's about to graduate. And I remember those days and I am so happy that I did it. So happy because I have those memories. You know, you think, but it was a doctor appointment. Yeah, but sometimes we go through McDonald's, sometimes we go through Starbucks. You know, we did other things and it was fun. It was fun. Which leads me to the last reason, number 5, because there are no such things as Mondays. Yes, I took weekends off. I mean, I did. Because of their sports, but that was another thing. Sometimes if I needed to catch up on something, a Saturday, a rainy Saturday, I was like, all right, let's go. We had a bad week. Let's get some, things caught up. I was getting my bookkeeping, I should say, my schedule done, their schedules done. I'm going to show you everything about scheduling. I can be really, really hyper. How do you want to say that? I don't know. I can be attention to detail when it comes to keeping schedules. And I had to be because I had sports schedules, like I said, doctor appointments, all that stuff. Then we would want to go away on vacation. Didn't have to tell the school, didn't have to get permission. We would go to Disney. We would go to Arizona. We would go all over the place and everything became school. If we were at a zoo, that became school. If we were at a museum, that became school. I had to make projects around our vacations. Vacations became school. And I love that. You didn't have to wait till the summer. And then guess what? Summer, I ended June 30th and then I would start up again in August. Summer was like usually 6 weeks. And then I started right up again. And I'm going to talk about all that. I will not bore you with that today. But I will tell you all my scheduling and how I did it. and how I stayed sane and how I loved it. I loved every minute of it, except for the sleepless nights, like I told you. Many of those, being with my children was the best thing ever. And now that they're almost all adults, my youngest is 17, he's right back there. I'm so happy I did. I got to spend so much time with my children, and I don't think that we get old and say, you know what, I spent too much time with my children. I don't think we do that. I really don't. I'm really happy that I made that decision, and I'm not trying to force you into making that decision. I'm just trying to tell you all the benefits of it. If that's not your life, we need to start understanding that everybody's life is their own, and there are no set ways to raise our children. We're all doing the best we can. The big word out there these days is mom shaming. We don't need to do that. And I did get a lot of resistance from my mom friends that kids were in school. You know, they'd want to know why. Why? Don't you want them to socialize? We will get into that. Not today, but I will answer that question. And if you have questions, let me know, because the next video you will see, I am going to break it down grade by grade, subject by subject. In the future, even if my children want to homeschool their children, they can go to this playlist and just pull it up, and it's all going to be there. And I will share everything I know with you. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this purpose in doing this, because, you know, the pandemic could have been like really boring. And now 7 weeks in, I'm like, why didn't I think of this before? Why didn't I think of this 3 weeks ago? Oh, well, I didn't. And so I've got ticking time. I'm like, I don't know when I'm going back to work. So I want to get these out before I go back to work. That's kind of the goal. But if that goal doesn't happen, by the end of the summer. So everyone, have an amazing day. I'm here in Pennsylvania. The sun is out. I am going outside today. I'm going to enjoy it. Yes, we're doing school. That's going to happen today. But after that, it's outside to stay sane in these times. Everyone, thanks for watching. Please leave me comments. You can DM me. I'm all, Facebook, Instagram, DM me wherever you can find me, or leave questions down below. Until my next video.